This is a video on completing your vulnerable population assignment number 2, which is a mind map. This is due in learning unit number 4. So when you click on this folder in the course assignments tab, it's going to open up the following. So the first is what this activity is. You're creating a mind map about the social determinants of health, those that impact on your specific vulnerable population. So here's a brief overview again of social determinants of the health, what they include. So you're looking at things as how does your vulnerable population, what impacts on them as far as transportation, housing, educational attainment, all kinds of things. And you really do need to understand the content of social determinants of health to really understand what the challenges are that your vulnerable population faces. So let's get back to the assignment. So that's your activity. Now, here is the spot that you're going to submit your activity, and on the bottom will be a submission section here. So I've copied this link into learning unit number 4 so that you could submit it. Your view again is going to be different and you'll see that. So let's go back then. So this is going to have the actual assignment. This is where you submit. Let's look at let's first look, and I'm going to move this around. Let's go back to social determinants of health. So here's Healthy People 2030 is just a really nice site to go back to make sure in your mind that you understand what social determinants of health are, the conditions and the environments where people are born, live, learn, work, play, worship, and age. I really love that definition. So for for Healthy People 2030, they categorize them in 5 categories. So you can look through this information, and I think it's just a really helpful site. So what does that mind map look at? So I'm going to give you some examples. I know you guys love examples. Here's one from a previous course offering, and it was for a student that looked at those with limited English proficiency. So if we click on here, we're going to understand that there's one key area. We're looking at poor health literacy. So everyone's mind map is really going to look very differently. You might be using phrases, words, pictures, colors, but you're going to see how your key here is what are the social determinants of health for limited English proficiency patients. So they've looked at a couple of sub-concepts here: poor health literacy, barriers of race and ethnicity, educational barriers, income barriers, and they have added some images, some diagrams. This is just one way to look at it. So this is one example. I'm not saying it's necessarily an exemplar, but it's a good example. And there are other ones here that we didn't create, but let's look at this. So mind map on health. So with health, if you could consider your vulnerable population to be in the center. So if your vulnerable population is a specific, whatever your specific population group is, you would have it here in the center. And then you can see the social determinants of health coming off of that population. So, of course, we're not looking at a population here. We're looking at the concept of health and what causes stress, and they go off from the center. And again, this one is using some pictures, and but you're going to use a different tool that's not going to really allow yours to look like this. But it's again your population in the center, and what are the social determinants of health. So what determines the health and the barriers to your vulnerable population. So let's close this out. I haven't looked at this one in a while, but this is more like in an algorithm format. I realize that you're not seeing the whole thing, but finding a new primary care physician mind map. So again, that's your central concept. Again, that's going to be your vulnerable population. So what are those things that impact on your vulnerable population? So you might be using more of an algorithm type of style. So that's just another example. And if I have a moment, I will try to look back at some other examples for you. So how are you going to make this mind map? Well, you're going to use eDraw Mind. It's free. It's a free download. And in fact, you click on here and you're just going to download for free. So that's, it's by, what is it again? Wondershare. It's eDraw Mind. And it is free, and I'm asking that you click on there. Here's a video I found regarding how to use eDraw Mind. And I think it's 8 minutes long, but it's well worth your 8 minutes to really look through this so you know how to go about doing this. So you want to make sure that when you're done developing your mind map, that you save it, but that you also export it as a PDF file. And here is just some directions, but I believe he goes over this as well in the video. And then the final thing is, you'll find this in the syllabus, but this is kind of this is the grading rubric. So it's worth 90 points. To do an exemplary mind map, there's structure. You've ideas to provide a complete picture, but yet use your imagination and creativity. You have clearly and highly, you were clear and highly effective, indicating what connections there were between your ideas, so the social determinants of health, and your central image, your population. Good use of words, keywords, images to really create that deep understanding just by looking at it. So a mind map is a visual thinking tool to help structure information. So you're going to use color, images, so you can read through this. So this is the information that you're going to see. Again, it is on vulnerable population assignment number 2, and that is a mind map. And you find that in the course assignments box right here, which is actually our second kind of content area. So when you click on course assignments, you've done 1, you've done your screen pal video. Now you are completing for learning unit number 1 and submitting the vulnerable population assignment.